Hello, friends, budding, aspiring pilots, students of CPL and ATPL. In the last few lessons, we had done a few questions on understanding the instruments, altimeter, airspeed indicator, Mach meter, magnetism, and the gyro instruments. And we also started with the next set of lessons in general navigation, the shape of the Earth. As I've been promising you that I'll put up a question bank for your use. Now here we are today to consolidate what we have read before we proceed forward and do some numericals on the concepts that we have already covered. And to start with, we have the altimeter questions now on your screen. These are the 10 numericals representing various concepts that we have studied so far. And let us see if we have understood what we have learned so far. And after that, we will proceed forward to the next set of lessons. Right. An altimeter, as you know, gives you the reading from a datum pressure. The datum pressure is fed to the instrument case. And the datum pressure is fed to the capsule in the instrument case, and the instrument case by itself is fed with the current static pressure. And when you start climbing, current static pressure keeps falling and capsule keeps on expanding, readings keeps on expanding. And what is the reading which you get? Datum pressure minus the pressure at that altitude called ambient pressure into the lapse rate. If both these are in HPA, multiply with 30. And if both these pressures are in inches, multiply by 1016 feet per inch is the lapse rate. And that's a standard lapse rate on which your altimeter is calibrated. This altimeter reading, to remind you, when measured from QFE, that is the aerodrome pressure, is called height above ground level. Measured from QNH, it is called altitude above mean sea level. Measured from 1013.25 datum, it is called pressure altitude. And every 500 feet of the pressure altitude is one of the flight levels. Right. Let's go back to the questions now, numericals. The question number 1 deals with this concept, datum minus ambient pressure into the lapse rate. I suggest these questions, first you note them down in your register. Okay? And keep this register with you even after clearing your CPL, then you'll need it for ATPL. After that, you'll need it for further examinations in your life. Don't throw it away the moment you pass your CPL. And after you clear ATPL, you think now that, okay, now I don't need it anymore. Give it to your younger brother, sister, or your friends who are aspiring to be pilots. Not much is going to change in time to come in last 10, 15 years. Yes, new instruments have come in, etc., but the concepts and basics have remained same. So they will be handy a couple of years later also. Okay, and a couple of years later, that will bring a smile on your face. You will be sitting in an Airbus or the Boeing cockpit and remembering those days when you used to struggle with your numericals. Everyone has. So did I. So will you. and so will the next generation. Okay, but the fruits of hard work is always success. Keep smiling, keep putting in effort, and keep achieving higher and higher targets. Now let's start with the topic. Question number 1, I've told you. Question number 2 is, he set the set scale, subscale, that is your subscale is your window reading to which your, and that's a pressure in your capsule or the wafers which you have set. And the main scale is the reading of the altimeter. If subscale, that's a data pressure increases, altimeter reading, that's a main scale reading, will also increase. The difference in pressure, again, multiply by the lapse rate, will be the change in your altimeter reading. Question number 3 is the same concept as in question number 2 above. In question number 4, and again in question number 7, we are going to apply the concept of barometric error. Remember, the barometric error is when the pressure set on your window, that's a datum pressure which you said, and the actual pressure at the place at which you are flying is different. High, low, high. If this is high, actual pressure is low, altimeter reads high, it will overread, and reading of the altimeter called indicated altitude will be more than your true altitude. Conversely, if your datum pressure is less, actual pressure is high, your altimeter reads low, or we can say it underreads. In a underreading altimeter, indicated altitude will be less, but the true altitude will be more. How much more? Difference in these two pressures, datum and the actual pressure, multiply by the lapse rate. If in HPA, multiply by 30, in inches, multiply by 1016. That will be the amount of underreading or overreading. If you know the indicated altitude, that's a reading of your altimeter, you can find out the true altitude. And if your true altitude, that is in the next question, if it is more than the ground below you or the hill below you, you will cross it safely. And if your true altitude is less than the ground or the hill below you, then it could result in a disaster. Nobody wants a disaster in his life, whether professional or personal life. So we will take sufficient caution. And now we are talking about professional life. Understand this concept so that you become a good pilot and you have the aircraft under control. And you know what is happening to your aircraft. Is your altimeter underreading or overreading? Underreading is also bad. But overreading could even be dangerous. You might be thinking that this indicated altitude is safe to cross a hill, but your true altitude may be less. So therefore, that is the reason we are studying these things, okay? So that we have an accident-free career ahead. Question number 5 is again based on this concept. 6 is question number 6 is based on the definitions that QNH is QFE plus aerodrome elevation by 30. On QNH, altimeter gives you indicated altitude, or rather the altitude. And on 1013.25, altimeter gives you pressure altitude. Question number 6 is based on that concept. In question number 7, quite a few concepts have been combined. In this concept, we are going to use this concept for barometric error applied. Now the aircraft is at the moment crossing a hill 5,000 feet, and you are required to cross this hill by 1,500 feet at least. What should be your minimum altimeter reading to cross this hill by 1,500 feet? In other words, he wants to know your indicated altitude. So in this case, we first need to find out our true altitude, and this is what he has told you. This should be your true altitude, 5,000 plus 1,500 feet. Now, for applying high, low, high, I need the pressure over here. He's told you that your datum in this question is set to QNH of A, departure. Now I need QNH of this place over which the aircraft is flying. For place B, he's given me a QFE and the elevation. Find out the QNH of A, which is already given to you. Find out QNH of B. A plus B divided by 2 will be the QNH midway where this hill is located. And now find out if your datum pressure is QNH of A, your altimeter under reading or over reading. And that will give you the barometric error. If it is over reading, then to have this true altitude, indicated altitude will have to be more because it is over reading. If it is under reading, indicated can be less than the true altitude. By how much amount? This is the barometric error. Find out the barometric error through this formula, high, low, high, or low, high, low. But here when I apply the error, I will apply the total error. There is a barometric error, yes, but this aircraft has also got an instrument error. What is the instrument error? At the time of takeoff on QNH, your altimeter should read aerodrome elevation. Elevation is 210, altimeter is reading 270 feet. If you set QFE, altimeter should read 0. So in this case, when it is not reading 210, you have an instrument error. Okay, don't blame the QNH, you have an instrument error. And due to instrument error, your altimeter is overreading. So write down here that my instrument is overreading by this amount. Find out this error. If both are overreading, add them up. If both are underreading, add them up. And that is the total or the net error. If one of these is underreading and the other is overreading, then the difference of these two is your combined error, and apply this error to get a true altitude of 6,500 feet and find out what should be your indicated altitude. That is this answer, in which we have applied the concept of barometric error. We have calculated the QNH midway when it was not given to you directly. And we have also applied the concept of instrument error. So why we don't want a barometric error? That's the reason when we reach the next airport, after we descend below transition level and before we cross transition altitude, we set the QNH of the airport at which we are landing, so that there is no barometric error. So then on landing, your aircraft should read the aerodrome elevation if you're landing on QNH. And in case there is an instrument error, whatever instrument error was there in the takeoff will remain. If it was overreading, it will remain overreading. If it was underreading, remain underreading by the same amount. So question number 7, we have applied 3-4 concepts. Generally here, so far we have been finding out the true altitude to find out we are clearing the hill or not. Now he says this is what you want to do, clear the hill by 1,500 feet. And what should be your altimeter reading? In other words, he wants to know the indicated altitude. That is question number 7 for you. Question number 8, as also question number 10, are basically based on the definitions which we have covered in lesson number 1 and 2. Question number 9 also we had done in our earlier lessons. And I don't remember, was it the same question which we did? Just go back and check. Anyway, if so, let's do it again. Here it tells you that the aircraft sets heading. He's over the airport, he's 1500 feet. When he starts climbing for his destination, and this 1500 feet is on QNH, you take off on QNH. Climbs to flight level 75, that means 7,500 feet. In between, he would have changed his altimeter setting to 1013.25, about transition level. Bring these two readings to the same datum point. Either find out what will altimeter read if I set the QNH here, or what will the altimeter read if I set 1013.25 while setting heading or setting course. And then the difference between these two will be your total climb which you have done. So that is what you have to do, and I have to find out this question. 1500 feet is on QNH, whereas the altitude to which I have climbed is the pressure altitude 7,500, which is on 1013.25. Question number 10 is again fairly easy based on the concept so far. Now, I remind you again, first note down these questions in your register without the answers, and do these questions in your own time, today or tomorrow. Then come back here and see, are your answers matching or not? If they are not matching, then start reading these concepts and stop for each one. And these are the hints that I have given you. And now do it question and get the correct answer. But remember, if you have made a mistake in any question, 1, 2, 3, whatever number of questions, give each question 1 star. After 1 week, do those questions again where you are gone wrong. Again, make a mistake. Okay, now you give it 2 stars and give it again, attempt it twice, not once this time, attempt it twice now. And now you are happy that I'm not going to make a mistake anymore. Then be happy with these questions, and then go ahead and try the questions from other places also. Okay, and wishing you the best of luck in your examinations and in your further career ahead. And don't forget, nothing succeeds like success. But dream of the success and sitting in your cockpit with your eyes open. At night when you're sleeping, you can dream becoming the King of England also. Nobody stops you. Okay? But those dreams break in the morning. The dreams which you see with your eyes open are the ones for which you are going to work hard. Good luck. All the best. Hoping to see you all in a wide body cockpit and on the left-hand seat. Keep happy. Keep working. And the moment you start getting your numericals right, and you'll find your confidence gradually shooting up. Like your sugar shoots up if you eat too much of ice cream. Your confidence shoots up with the success that you have in solving your questions and your question banks. Okay, good luck, all the best. And in the next lesson, we will do some more numericals on ASI, altimeter, I beg your pardon, Mach meter, and gyros, magnetism, compasses, etc., etc. Carry on. And then we will proceed with the next set of questions. Although we have just started with the general navigation and shape of the earth. But I'm going to put it on hold now till the time we sort out the questions in the concepts which we have already covered. This is Wing Commander S.A. Booty signing off for the time being. And don't forget to share this video with all your friends, colleagues, those who are studying with you in your flying club. For your younger brothers and sisters, if you are already a pilot, those who are aspiring to be pilots, and good luck. All the best. See you next time.